Hi, in today's video I'm going to show you how I made this little mug rug, or coaster as we call them in the UK, and this all started from two basic shapes from within ScanNCut canvas. Okay, so in ScanNCut canvas I came to the basic shapes and I scrolled down until I found the hexagon, the six-sided shape. I went to the properties box, and from within here I made the shape 4.65 inches wide and clicked enter, and that made the height 4.03. so that's the basic mug rug pattern shape. Once I had this with it selected, I went to edit, offset. I took the offset up to 1 inch, made sure it was on outward and made sure it was on bevel and said OK, and that gave me the second pattern piece. I saved both these designs up here in ScanNCut canvas, downloaded them to my machine, and I cut them out of a heavyweight paper, and they were my pattern templates. Okay, so for this project you're going to need your two pattern pieces. To save a little bit of time, I've already gone ahead and cut them out in fabric. So the smaller one is going to be the front of the mug rug, and I've literally just put it on some fabric and cut round it. I've applied some wadding on the back, which I've just stuck down with a fabric glue. You could use an iron-on one. You can use a heat-resistant one, but this is just going to be on my desk in my craft room, so it'll probably only have a cold drink on this, but it would, it would be okay. And then I've cut the bigger shape out, which is the backing. That's going to be the back. And then I've got two pieces of fabric which I've ironed on, heat and bond onto the reverse, and these are going to be for the applique. So I'm going to go into pattern, into this second icon, and then into this one, and go to page 2 and find the cup. Now I'm going to take the width down to about 3.25 inches and say OK. Then I'm going to choose each one of the parts. So A, OK, set, add B, OK, set, and add C. And that's put the 3 parts onto the mat. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to load the mat up with the 2 pieces of fabric, and I'm going to cut these out to make my applique. But I'm going to remove the paper backing before I apply them to the mat. So I'm just going to peel away the backing, and it leaves the adhesive stuck to the back of the fabric, and I'm going to put that adhesive side down on my mat. And then I'm just going to burnish it down well, making sure there are no air bubbles, and making sure that it's all fully stuck. Then I'm going to do the same with the second piece. Peel the fabric away from the backing sheet and apply this down on the mat as well. And again, I'm going to rub it down firmly so that there are no air bubbles. Going to load the mat into the machine, and I'm going to do a background scan and say OK. And then I'm going to drag each one of the pieces onto the fabric that I want to use. So I'm going to cut the cup in the flower, and I'm going to put the highlight for the cup and the saucer in the plain pink. Now on my machine, with the way my blade is set, and you'll have to check yours because all the blades seem to be set differently, I cut fabric on blade 4. I use a cut pressure of 4, and I use a cut speed of 5. But again, you will have to check, do a test cut with your fabric, put one of the small test cut shapes on and cut that first. So I'm going to say OK and cut. I'm going to say finish. And if you're unsure, just peel back your fabric and make sure that it's cut through, and it looks as though it has. May have caught in one place. Oh no, it hasn't. So I'm just going to remove the mat. I think it's actually caught just in one little place. So I'm going to just get my scissors if I need to and just free that up. So I'll show you these pieces in a minute. Now when you've cut your fabric and you've got pieces cut out of it like this, I keep it, I put it back on the carrier sheet and I store it in like a Ziploc bag, because you can use these again for another project. Okay, so here are the parts. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it on here just to show you. Oh, there's the base, which is the saucer, the little cup and the little highlight section. So I'm going to get my sewing machine out and I'm going to use probably a zigzag stitch or something and sew this all on here. But first I'm going to iron it on to hold it down in place, but I'm going to position it first and then I'll show you and then I'll sew it. Okay, so there it is, ironed in place. So now I'm going to do a zigzag stitch or something all the way around here to sew it onto this piece, and then I'll show you how to assemble the rest of the mug rug. So I'm going to keep it very simple and I'm just going to use a white stitch all the way around, and that's going to be what I'm going to sew it all together with as well. So I'm going to choose a simple zigzag stitch on my machine and I'm just going to start to work my way around. Just taking it slowly when I get to the corners. I'm just kind of lifting it up and looking as I go, because I'm not an expert at this. I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. I don't know if you can see this, but I've gone round the edge. I'm just going to carry on now around here and then I'll come back when it's all done. Okay, so there it is. I'm not the best at sewing a plique, but it gives you the idea. So what we're going to do now, going to fold this in half and just finger crease it so we get a crease down the middle, and fold it in half the opposite way, and again just crease it so that we've got some fold lines, and we're going to do exactly the same with our back piece. So fold it in half and finger crease it, and fold it in half the other way. You don't need to press this, it's only a guide for you to line up your front with your back. So you should have a fold going both ways on both pieces. And now I'm going to line up those fold lines in the centre of this backing piece, because you want to position the front piece centrally over this back piece, so you've got a nice even border all the way round, and that's why I'm using the fold lines as a guide. So now what you're going to do, you're going to fold in the back until it meets this front piece, and you're going to press it into position. Then working in the same direction all the way around. It doesn't matter which way you go, this way or this way, but just work in the same direction. So the next thing you're going to do, try not to move. You can pin that one in place if you want, the one that's on top. Then fold in your next section and iron. Just making sure that you're keeping it straight all the time. And give the corners a good press, because they're like your mitered corners. Then again, do the next one. It probably would have been easier if I'd have pinned it, but my pins are not handy. I'll get them in a few minutes, I think, to do the next bit. And then the last one. And if you go in the same direction all the way round, your folds hopefully should be nice and neat, and all your corners, your mitered corners, will sit nicely. Okay, I've got some pins now. I'm just going to pin this into place now. So we're going to do the same thing again now. So starting at the same place that you started first time round, so mine was at the bottom here, you're now going to fold this over. And press and pin. And then work your way round in the same way. If you keep going in the same direction, all your corners, your mitered corners, should sit nicely. So now I've got it all pinned into place, I'm going to sew that all the way around. Now I could use a straight stitch, I might use a zigzag stitch, the same as I've used on the applique, just for a change, and we'll see how it looks. Just going to remove the pins as I go. It doesn't help that I've got a sore finger, so that's my excuse. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to cut away my threads, take the pin out of the middle and give it a good press. So there it is, all finished. A cute little mug rug made from a couple of scraps of fabric. Can sit on my desk with my cup on or my glass on, and all started as a couple of basic shapes from within the ScanNCut. So I hope you found that helpful. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already do so, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.